Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, welcome into the Kansas City Chiefs Report. The Chiefs have made their second-round picks, number 58 and number 63 overall. Let's talk about it on today's show. With the number 58 overall pick in round 2 of the NFL Draft, Kansas City goes Nick Bolton, the linebacker out of Missouri, a player who's been linked to the Chiefs because obviously he played locally at Mizzou, and we've talked about him a decent bit here on this show. Obviously, Bolton is a player that fills a need at linebacker. Now, in recent weeks and months, I had kind of faded away from the idea of spending a premium pick on a linebacker only because I think that linebacker, while it's a need for Kansas City, it's not a major team for any teams these days, right? Like the defensive back and edge and defensive tackle, getting the quarterback and defending in the secondary, I think is more valuable. That being said, Bolton is a really good player. He was a top 40 player for Tom Downey on his big board. He's local, like I said, a good athlete. And ideally, you pair him up with Willie Gay Jr., and that's your linebacker duo for the next 5 or 10 years if everything pans out the way you hope it does. You lost Damian Wilson in free agency. Yes, you still have Anthony Hitchens. You re-signed Ben Neiman. So now you go 4 deep at linebacker, and you're feeling pretty good about your depth at that position. And again, ideally, Bolton pairs up with Gay Jr., and that's your dynamic duo for the foreseeable future. What is your one-word reaction to the Chiefs picking Nick Bolton here at number 58 overall? Go ahead and let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll say solid, right? I don't love the pick. I'm not giving it an A+. I would have loved Terrace Marshall with this pick, who ended up going a few selections later, but overall, it's good. It's a B- type of pick. Like, it's going to fill a need. He's going to play a role, and I think he can be potentially a day one starter on this defense. Now, we are live on Chat Sports, breaking down every pick here on day 2. Rounds 2 and 3 coverage still ongoing if you are still watching here on Friday night. Check that out, youtube.com/chatsportstv. If you're watching this on Saturday morning, we're going to be live on Chat Sports again, our main channel, of course. Rounds 4 through 7, a bunch of channels just they back out on day 3. They don't feel like putting the work in. We do analysis of every single pick, including the Chiefs selections, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Link will be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Go check out our day 3 draft coverage. So more on the pick of Bolton here. Really productive at Mizzou this past year. 95 tackles. Had a couple of sacks, so a guy that you can bring on blitzes from time to time. Good against the run, but has the athletic traits to play sideline to sideline, which is really what you're looking for these days. Obviously, Anthony Hitchens is a good culture guy, a good leader type of player. He's a team captain, but he's getting older. He's a slower player at this point in his career. Willie Gay Jr., Nick Bolton, these are younger, more athletic players that can be 3-down linebackers if they learn the system that Steve Spagnuolo has in place and if they play to their full potential. So I think when you look at this overall, again, I would have gone Terrace Marshall, but I like the pick. It's in the B range overall. I think this is a selection you Chiefs fans can be very happy with. Do you like the pick? Type Y for yes, type N for no. It's solid. It's good. I'm not going to be upset about it. Not the highest ceiling pick, but definitely a higher floor type of selection by Brett Veach, by Andy Reid. I'm good with it. I'm typing my Y for yes, but you guys can go ahead and get your thoughts in. Now, today's show is sponsored by the Newsbreak app. Head over to chatsports.com/ChiefsNB and get caught up on local news, politics, weather. You can find more videos from us here at the Chiefs Report on the Newsbreak app by simply searching the Chiefs Report. Chatsports.com/ChiefsNB. I'm always up to date on my phone with everything happening locally, both in news and in sports. I don't want to download 5, 6, 7 news source apps. It's all on one feed. They aggregate stories from all your local stories. So the Kansas City Star, if you want ESPN Kansas City Chiefs articles, you can find it all on Newsbreak. And like I said, Chiefs Report videos as well. Go check it out, chatsports.com/ChiefsNB. And hey, hit that download button by using that link, chatsports.com/ChiefsNB. With the Chiefs' number 63 overall pick in the second round of the NFL Draft, Creed Humphrey, the selection here, the center out of Oklahoma, a player we've talked about a lot, especially in recent days and weeks. Now, when Kansas City traded for Orlando Brown Jr., I was like, okay, you've probably played your way out of Creed Humphrey range. Maybe Landon Dickerson is more likely. Ironically, he ends up going way earlier than I thought he would. And Creed Humphrey slides a little bit, and you get him in the back end of the second round. This is a really good pick by Kansas City. Now, we can certainly explore, okay, is Creed Humphrey going to be a day one starter? Probably not. I think Austin Blythe is your center in 2021. That's why you brought him here. At worst, though, you learn under Blythe for a year, and then he's your guy in 2022. That's what we talked about with Dickerson as well. If you draft one of these centers, you can basically redshirt them as rookies, let them learn, let them get known to the system, let them compete, obviously. I'm not saying, you don't give him the opportunity to win the job, but this is a long-term play. This is a 2022 and beyond play. I'm a big fan of this draft pick. I think the Chiefs got better by drafting Creed Humphrey. Grade the pick for me, A, B, C, D, or F. It's like an A minus. It's really good value. I had Creed Humphrey. He's a top 40-ish player for me. A guy who started almost 40 games in the Big 12 at Oklahoma, who pumps out a ton of offensive line talent at the University of Oklahoma. And you get this guy late in the second round, really good in the run game, commands the offensive line. I think this is, if he stays healthy, a 10-year type of center in the NFL. And hopefully that ends up being with the Kansas City Chiefs. Subscribe to the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We're going to have more draft coverage for you guys. Chiefs likely done here on day 2, barring something unforeseen, but they've got more picks on day 3 starting in the 4th round. So keep it here, youtube.com/chatsportstv, the latest draft news, rumors, anything else circulating around Chiefs Kingdom. But just to kind of recap what day 2 has looked like. You get Creed Humphrey at number 63 overall. I love the value here. He could put on 5 or 10 pounds, which I'm guessing he will. I would treat this as a redshirt season for Creed Humphrey. I'll just get that out there right now. Austin Blythe is my starting center for 2021 if I'm Kansas City, and then Humphrey takes over in 2022. It's a great situation. The Chiefs have committed to building this offensive line after what happened in the Super Bowl, what happened last year with all the injuries on this O-line, and Brett Veach has done that. He did it in free agency. He traded for Orlando Brown. He drafts Creed Humphrey. This offensive line is a top 5 unit in the National Football League, in my opinion. You add him, you get Nick Bolton, a young athletic linebacker on the defensive side of the field, and you still have a few picks to work with. Listen, we'll see what Brett Veach has up his sleeve. We'll see what Andy Reid, what his influence is the rest of the way. I would add a receiver on day 3, maybe a cornerback as well. You got 144 coming up tomorrow. Got a couple of 5th-round picks as well. So this should be a fun day 3 of the draft, which is why you should subscribe. Speaking of which, who should the Chiefs draft next? Day 3 targets. Get your votes in on this one. We'll do some grades tonight. We'll grade these 2 selections on what the Chiefs did, and maybe I'll take a look at some of the top available players on day 3. Get your votes in. Who should the Chiefs draft tomorrow?